Then the game changes. One of the two children proposes, "Let us play at the Exodus from Egypt. Jesus will be Moses, I will be Aaron, and you, Mary." "But I'm a boy." "It does not matter, it's just the same. You are Mary, and you shall dance before the golden calf, and the golden calf is that beehive over there." "I'm not going to dance. I'm a man, and I do not want to be a woman. I'm a faithful believer, and I'm not going to dance before an idol." Jesus interrupts them. "Don't let us play that part. Let us play this one, when Joshua is elected Moses' successor. So there will be no terrible sin of idolatry, and Judas will be happy to be a man and my successor. Are you happy?" "Yes, I am, Jesus." "But then you will have to die, because Moses dies afterwards." "But I do not want you to die. You have always been so fond of me." "Everybody dies. But before dying I shall bless Israel. And since you are the only ones here, I shall bless the whole of Israel in you." They agree. Then there is an argument, whether the people of Israel, after so much travelling, still had the same carts which they had when leaving Egypt. There is a difference of opinion. They apply to Mary. "Mummy, I say that the Israelites still had the carts. James says they didn't. Judas does not know who is right. Do you know?" "Yes, my son. The nomadic people still had their carts. They repaired them when they stopped to rest. The weaker people travelled in them, and also the foodstuffs. And the many things which were necessary for so many people were loaded into them. With the exception of the ark, which was carried by hand, everything else was on the carts." The question is now solved. The children go down to the bottom of the orchard, and from there, singing psalms, they come towards the house. Jesus is in front, and he is singing some psalms in his gentle silvery voice. Behind him, there come Judas and James, holding a little cart, which had been elevated to the rank of tabernacle. But since they have to play also the part of the people, in addition to Aaron and Joshua's, with their belts they have tied to their feet other miniature carts, and thus they proceed very seriously, as if they were real actors. They cover the whole length of the pergola. They pass in front of the door of Mary's room, and Jesus says, "Mummy, hail the ark when it passes by." Mary stands up smiling, and she bows to her son, who passes by, radiant in the bright sunshine. Then Jesus clambers up the side of the mountain that forms the boundary of the house, or rather the garden. He stands up straight on top of the little grotto and speaks to Israel. He repeats the orders and the promises of God. He appoints Joshua as the leader, calls him, and then Judas in his turn climbs up the cliff. He encourages and blesses him. He then asks for a tablet. It is a large fig leaf. And he writes the canticle and reads it. It is not quite complete, but contains a large part of it. And he seems to be reading it from the leaf. He then dismisses Joshua, who embraces him, crying. And he then climbs further up, right up to the edge of the cliff. And from there he blesses the whole of Israel. That is, the two who are prostrate on the ground. He then lies down on the short grass, closes his eyes and dies. Mary, who has been watching from the doorstep smiling, when she sees him lying still on the ground, shouts, "Jesus, Jesus, get up. Don't lie down like that. Your mummy does not want to see you dead." Jesus gets up smiling, runs towards her and kisses her. Also James and Judas come. They also receive Mary's caresses.